Well, the episodes don't stop, and the weirdness in WWE continues. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 19 of Under the Middle Rope. I'm your host, Jose Tawada, and yes, today's episode title should explain everything. Because of course, we were talking about the events that happened this past Monday night on Raw, in which the new segment, I don't know if you want to call it, or bit, whatever it is, called WWE Underground was unveiled, debuted, of course, by yours truly, Shane McMahon, everybody's favorite, the best wrestler in the world, introduced this new thing to us. I don't even know what it is. It's like this shoot MMA style thing. So that's just what the conversation is about today. Just, our thoughts on it, what we think about it, the future. But who won't be giving their thoughts on it and who won't talk about their expectations is Andrew Wolf Woltman, because for the first time since I believe week 3, episode 3, since our WrestleMania predictions, that's how far back we're going. So late March, he is not on the podcast today. And I don't know how I feel. We're going to get into our thoughts on that with today's guest, RJ Stacy, my old college podcast co-host, who, me and him have just amazing chemistry together, as a lot of you will realize just because we go way back. But no Wolf today. No Wolf. The streak had to come to an end at one point, and, he always found his way on. And we quickly talk about that to open the podcast. So, Wolf, wherever you are in this world, wherever you are needed, we hope that you are serving your purpose, and we hope that you are doing a great job wherever you are. It's probably busy. It's probably just busy. That being said, let's get into it, shall we? So, sit back, relax, and enjoy Fight Club. Hey everybody, welcome to the discussion. And I have to say, I don't know how I feel about Wolf not being here today. Not that I'm not happy to see RJ Stacy. Everybody loves RJ. I know I love RJ. Good to see you, buddy. But it's interesting, isn't it? His streak is over.
The streak's over. It's immediately quieter.
It's quieter. I mean, this is the first time since week 3, I believe, since the WrestleMania predictions, that he's not been on an episode. He's managed to weasel his way in, but
he's just taking a week off, eh?
Yeah, it's just like I think he had something come up or whatnot. Which again, everything's fine. He's not going crazy. Well, I mean, he is crazy, but so it's a wolfless week, and it's just the good old pals of RJ and Jose back to the after the count days of college.
Just a couple of friends. It's like Scott Stanford, your buddy, your pal, RJ and Jose.
Everybody loves it.
Hey, it's me, your buddy, your pal, RJ Stacy, and Jose Tawada.
I love that. I mean, I don't know if they get in the States, but in Canada, right? Like anytime you watch a WWE program, even in quarantine, you see in his backyard, hey, it's your buddy, and of course, your pal, Scott Stanford. And speaking of that, so today's episode I labeled Fight Club because of what happened this past Monday night on Raw. And I don't even know where to start other than, let's explain what it is. I mean, so on Monday, we got the notice that Shane McMahon was returning to Raw, which, got a very big positive reaction with everybody on social media. I reacted positively. You tweeted at me saying that you love Shane. Who doesn't love Shane?
Yep, for sure.
Everybody likes a good Shane McMahon. I mean, like, I popped when I hear his music. I pop, and when you hear it in person at a WrestleMania, it feels even more special. And of course he is the best in the world. So
that goes without saying.
Yeah, the best in the world. And the vignettes on Raw was like this door with darkness and a big tall dude just like blocking the door. We're like, okay, what's going on? And all of a sudden, it's this backstage wrestling ring with no ropes, with a bunch of people with like faded lights and what essentially looked like a fight club, and called WWE Underground, where it's just, I guess, non-scripted, or I don't even know if I want to say non-scripted, but like shoot wrestling, where you just MMA. You can say a little bit of MMA. Just shoot it. Just go for it. Just slime. He had Ivar on Monday, just like like acting all tough and like sliming people down, like some other really really big dudes sliming others. Yeah, it's called Underground, and of course, who can forget those 3 ladies just dancing on the platform? I don't know what this was.
And Shane said we could even see them in the ring next week. I mean, like,
well, they teased it because you had two of them, like the left, the girl on the left and the girl in the middle, just started like clashing. I'm like, oh no,
yeah,
don't do that. And like,
yeah. And then Shane's like, oh, maybe we can settle this in the ring. There's no rules here. And they're like, okay. And then they're back to it.
That's it. So, it got, I think, so it got mixed reviews. I mean, what doesn't? What in WWE doesn't get mixed reviews?
True.
Oh boy, I need to sneeze. So RJ, let's go with you because I do have to sneeze. Your thoughts on everything and what you thought of it and whatnot. Go for it.
So when they had on, oh, that was a good one. When they had on Twitter that Shane was going to be coming in, they said that there might be a stable that was going to be getting debuted, and I'm like, okay, maybe this could all be tied in with something like that with Shane. And then they were teasing it throughout the night, and they had the big bodyguard out the door. I think that was the same dude as the Big Ninja.
I think you're right. Now that I think about it,
I'm pretty sure he's the bodyguard now. I'm pretty sure that's Big Ninja. He's huge.
He's massive.
I mean, I want to see him get into the underground ring. That's all I have to say.
You should.
And then I'm like, okay, what's going on in there? That's interesting. And they're having those like weird technical difficulties throughout the night too. And it's like maybe that's gonna get tied together at some point in time. And then they go to this whole like at about 9:45. They're like, oh, tonight at 10 p.m. Raw Underground. And Shane McMahon kind of like with a mic
with the biggest smile on his face.
The biggest smile on his face, and he's just like, "This is Raw Underground. Like, tune in 15 minutes." And then that was it. Then they go back to the regular old Raw, and they come back. So I'm not gonna lie, I kind of wanted to see a little bit more of this because when he said it was going to be on at 10 p.m., I kind of thought they were going to dedicate the whole hour to it.
The whole hour, yeah.
But they were kind of just showing like little like not even 5 minutes, like 1-2 minute little like matches.
Yeah, it felt
kind of just teasing it all throughout the night. And I'm like, okay,
go.
I'm like, this is kind of cool. Like, I like the idea of this, like the whole shoot wrestling. You get some no name, like were those just like indie wrestlers in there, or like no name NXT guys probably that were taking all those bumps up against mid card wrestlers. Like Ziggler got in there at one point in time, and Eric got in there at one point in time.
Oh, was it Eric? Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was Eric.
I'm getting confused.
Ivar's the one the ladies love, man. That's the
yes.
So he gets in there, and I like the idea of that because it can make those sort of wrestlers look strong. And
somehow,
it does make them look better. Like these jobbers cannot compete with even like mid card wrestlers in WWE. It's like that's kind of the way they wanted to show things, and Arik did look like a beast. Ziggler even looked pretty good getting the sleeper hold on him. So I kind of like the idea of it. I do think the overall presentation needs a lot of work, though.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, I keep going. Anything else.
Yeah, I was gonna say the camera cuts and the cameras. It was really rough. I think if you want to show like this Raw Underground like Fight Club kind of thing, you should just have like one, maybe two camera like spot, like maybe just one camera and just show it that way. They were going like cut. It was very WWE. So yeah. I'd like to see them kind of go more like make it actually very Fight Clubby. Like they don't really need the strippers either.
Are they strippers? You want to call them strippers?
I don't know, or dancers or whatever.
Exotic dancers.
Exotic dancers, yeah. The go-go girls, whatever you want to call them. The go-go dancers.
Look, I mean, I don't know. I mean, first of all, it did feel like very cinematic-y. Like, kind of like, like I think that was one of the biggest issues with NXT. The cinematic match, one of them were kind of with the amount of cuts that they were having in there, like crazy and out of control. Very similar. But I mean, at least from that perspective, I get where they were going for, because it's a Fight Club, it's underground, it's sneaky, it's mysterious, it's like, like don't you got to be careful, or you're gonna get like messed up, right? And
yeah,
and so like you'll kind of understand the quick cuts. I'm like, you don't want to see what's going on over here because boom, look at this happen. Go to the next shot, right? Like it's, you and I, we grew up in a broadcast setting. Like we get it, we've seen it. A lot of people are like, all right, WWE going crazy, because that's just their presentation. Is just they want to show, they want to try to get you to go get to everything at once. They want you to think that you're there, so you don't have to worry about all these camera cuts, right? Which is like, you don't want to miss any of the action. That's the phrase I should be saying. I just hit my funny bone. As a whole, I mean, I will say, like, I did put on a face of disgust, because I think at this rate, I mean, with WWE, you're like, all right, now what are you guys up to, right? Like, what's happened now? And I feel a little bit hypocritical when I say, like, like when in the past couple of weeks, talking about raise be better standards for WWE, but you're like, oh my god, this is WWE, right? But like, you shouldn't sell for that, and I think those points just kind of echo to this because I'm seeing this and I'm like, okay, first of all, I'm all over the place, but I will say, like, before I go on, I am happy that this is a role that Shane's in and not like in an on camera role. Like, you had Kevin Owens on Raw
Yeah.
earlier today, who brought up Shane McMahon. We're like, oh my god, is Shane gonna go after Kevin Owens again and raise hell again? Like a lot of people were pissed off at that. So this like it's like Shane, while he was fired, just decided to round up some troops. Okay, guys, we're gonna do something better. And you're right, I was expecting it for like the full hour. I think I remember earlier in the year, right? WWE tried like this whole Raw Dark
Yeah,
theme.
something like that.
It
Yeah.
lasted 2 weeks, around when the 24/7 championship debuted. 2 weeks, done. Oh, sorry, last year, late 2019, done. That's it. Not brought up again. So I was like, are they trying it again? Like I said, I thought it was a whole hour, but and somehow like the moves sell me, which is weird because like when one of them like slammed another into the ring, I'm like, oh my god, for some reason I'm like, that's the concrete floor. I'm like, no, that's just a ring without ropes.
Yeah. I like how you're right there in the action though, so you can kind of feel the impact almost.
Yeah,
I like with like the quiet setting and like you can almost like feel the impact of even just like a basic like lift up, like it was like a power bomb almost, but you could feel and the jobbers were selling it too, which obviously helps.
exactly.
The one guy got power bombed by I think Arik and he just like lied there like for like 5 minutes and everybody comes and checks on him.
And Shane, hey, you're good, you're done, congratulations. Whatever, congrats, yeah, who's next? Who want to go? It's sounding like a carnival dude. So I I wonder. I've seen a lot of people saying, give it 2 weeks and it's done. Give it a week and it's done, or it's already over. And I guess you gotta see where this goes. And I hate saying that because I'm not a fan of it from the start because it's just like this is what we're doing. Like, I guess like try to. I will say like as soon as you hear Shane, you're like, oh okay, Shane, I got to tune in. This is like I will admit this was the first Raw that I've seen in a little while, but because I've just been busy and whatnot. So when you see Shane, it's like okay, and Shane I think delivered again. So I'm trying to see how this feels, and I want to say I'm on the negative side for now, but I guess I could be open to it depending on where they go with this because like we've seen a lot of these like these small little things that they try to like start off sporadically and then it's over, right? Like the Raw Dark, like I said a little while back, right? So like,
I think they love it or hate it. I think if they want this to be a thing, they definitely have to commit to it. They can't Raw Dark this like you just mentioned. Like I don't think this can be like a 1 week, then the next week, and then it's gone sort of thing because that's just like what are we doing then? Like they need to have a plan here, and I'm hoping they have a plan with this because they really only teased it throughout the night, and if it's really only like 1-2 minute segments throughout the night, then that's going to be like what is this? Who cares? So they need to have some sort of plan with this, like they did with the Hurt Business at the end of the. We haven't talked about that yet.
Yeah, which I presume.
What did you think about that last final segment? Like I know up into that point, they're just doing the little snippets, just like doing like regular one-on-one matches. Then the Hurt Business comes in and they kind of just take over and kick ass. If they use it for places like for people like the Hurt Business to come in and just kind of get over, what do you think about that? What did you think of that final segment?
See, like you bring up a good point because I was going to bring that up. First of all, I think they were the rumored faction. I think.
See, I'm thinking it was the people that blew up the
generator.
Thing. There's like there's 4 or 5 of them. I don't think that was the ninjas. I think they were just all dressed up in black. I think that's the faction. I think was that
a Molotov cocktail they threw at the generator?
Yeah, it was like a Molotov. Yeah,
some Call of Duty thing.
So I don't know if that's going to be the faction because they were seriously teasing and bringing up the technical issues and stuff like that all night, and the mics were all crap, and MVP was just bitching about it all night. And I think that it's going to all tie in, and I think that might be the faction. I don't know who's going to be in it. I don't know if Vince even knows who's going to be in it, but I think that might be the faction.
Yeah, you bring up a good point, but
it's probably the Hurt Business. It's probably the Hurt.
Yeah, I thought that because like that was at least that was the first time I heard them get a name with the but it looks like a great stable. I mean, it was a stable. I think it was rumored for a while. MVP getting like a group of people. Shelton Benjamin, a perfect guy to kind of like get back up on his feet. Bobby Lashley, it is what it is. So this side point, but
I
I'm
do want to
happy
bring
that.
once you mentioned Shelton, I do want to bring something up before you move on. Man, how big does he look beside all those jobbers, eh?
Oh my goodness,
He is
he really is.
way more massive than I thought he was. Anyway, you can continue. I just wanted to bring that.
Shelton. I think his return was so hyped up when he came back, and it feels a little bit flat. But God, that guy deserves so much more. Even like
Oh
even in
yeah,
his singles run in the mid 2000s, IC title, Mama Shelton, amazing. I liked it. I liked that there was some sort. I looked like MVP, not just like it felt a little bit like Grand Theft Auto. Like you got to try to take care of get like a business, get like invest in something or buy a property, and this is her business. You're like, all right, this is ours. This is mine.
yeah.
Um, so from that perspective, I thought it was cool. Again, I guess it's good. I mean, and if there's anybody that I guess that would fit their roles, it's MVP and the gang. I guess. I mean, I like you said, I think I have to see how it plays. I mean, at first I thought we were gonna get like a TV 14 thing with this or the
Me
final
too.
hour, and
Me
then
too.
it doesn't end up happening. It's still PG and on. I'm like, okay, whatever. Not that big of a deal, but it doesn't make that big of a difference. I don't think. Could be wrong, but um, I guess it's just gotta see where it goes. But I'm like, I think just because of like just how frustrating a lot of stuff has been with WWE, is like, okay, let's now what, right? Like, all right, let's see where this goes. So it's intriguing, but I don't know how. I don't know if I'm too intrigued. You know what I mean? I know
I think
you're on the more intrigued side, more positive side of it, but like, eh.
I think that's me too, though. Like, I don't think I love it yet. I think I really like the idea, though. I think that it's intriguing. I think the potential's there. I just think that the overall presentation so far needs work. Like Shane McMahon, I think it's a really good role for him because I know he's into the whole like MMA like scene.
Yeah,
And the martial arts scene. You saw his leading up to coming back. He was doing all those like MMA workouts and stuff. So I think it's a good role for him. I think it's something he'll enjoy doing. I do think he needs to be a better hype man though, instead of just being like, "Oh, what a sick knee" or something like that. Like he needs to get hyped. Like you need to see some more hype.
see, Shane is great when you have him in a role that gives him control of something, like Commissioner of SmackDown.
Yeah,
I loved him as a Commissioner of SmackDown. Like when
for
he
sure.
came back and the brand split return, I'm like, hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's
Yeah,
my boy Shane. Like when he took ownership of WCW, hell yeah, like it works. The
yeah,
occasional matches here and there. Again, it's just unfortunate they oversaturated Shane into like this regular competitor bickering with Kevin Owens, right? I mean, like it's fine to be the heel commissioner, kind of burn him a couple times, like Evil Vince
yeah.
back in the '90s, but it just got oversaturated. So this is like, okay, this is the chance for fans to really see why we love Shane. Why Shane's I think is good. I know he's not the subpar wrestler, but put him in that like in that business role, put him in like in the business model McMahon role, and I think he's great. I think he's fantastic. I think he's a great worker.
Yeah.
And plus
And
he always has kick ass kicks. He has really
yeah,
good looking
his
shoes.
shoe
Always.
game is incredible. It's elite.
I would love to get a pair of Jordans. Amazing.
And
Amazing.
even on top of that, like I'll always give credit to Shane as a wrestler. Not that he was good, but he has jumped off more things than any billionaire son has ever needed to jump off of,
I
and
can't jump off a
taken
step
bumps
ladder.
that anything like the match with Kurt Angle at the King of the Ring will always be one of my favorite matches. Like
Like King of the Ring.
he
It's a
got the
classic.
crap kicked out of him.
It's a
So
classic. I
I
mean,
don't need to see Shane in the ring anymore. But in the past, I was always a Shane fan growing up. I was always excited to see Shane in matches, even though I knew he wasn't a wrestler. So
I can't jump off a step ladder. This guy jumps off 40-foot stage constructions,
yeah,
right?
like
Like
what is
it's
that?
incredible. Like he's or 20-foot, whatever. He's incredible. So I'm happy he's in this role. Now, I don't know how much else we can talk about it because obviously, everything stemmed from the rumor that we heard before it. Because rumors were swirling on the weekend, and even like one of my friends messaged me Monday hours before Raw aired. Good old Frank, good old buddy of mine named Frank. He messaged me like, "Hey Jose, there's a rumor that Brawl for All is returning," and I said, "What?" Because I knew Shane was coming back. I heard that there was like they were gonna try something new that even like apparently like talent were like, "Gay, what?"
Mm-hmm.
And then it ended up being this. I want to call this like a someone like reincarnation of Brawl for All, and
Sort of is, yeah.
in a sense. And now for those that don't know what Brawl for All is, first of all, highly recommend you check out Dark Side of the Ring, the documentary series. They did an entire episode. They uncover like really crazy dark moments, really impactful moments in wrestling history. And it goes for anything. A lot of it's targeted towards WWE because WWE has had a lot of controversial moments or figures that has just turned extremely dark. Of course, one of them, for example, being Chris Benoit, the 2-hour documentary that they pulled off, incredible documentary about the life of Chris Benoit and his downfall, and then what the tragedy that ended up happening. Brawl for All was one of their topics. Now, Brawl for All was a legitimate shoot-styled boxing tournament where all these wrestlers who are not trained boxers just get in the ring, put up a pair of gloves, and just like legitimately fight it out in the ring. And this was Vince. I could be wrong here, and I hope I'm corrected that like this was a chance for wrestlers to kind of like ease up some tension in the locker room, because the locker rooms back in the 90s were very tense, extremely tense. Very like do not step in my shoes, do not get in my face kind of locker rooms compared to what we see now. Like you have like the happy-go-lucky video game people now in today's locker room. Back in the day, wrong crowd could get you on the wrong end of a hospital ambulance. And so this was just to kind of like let loose, and a lot of wrestlers participated in this, and a lot of injuries, careers were ended. A lot of like serious moments. So like the pinnacle of it was having Bart Gunn, the winner of the Brawl for All, which happened in late 1998, actually compete against Butterbean, a highly touted boxer at WrestleMania 15 in a shoot-style boxing match. And of course, like this guy, like he ran through the locker room. Why can't you run through Butterbean? No, because he's not a trained boxer. And Bart Gunn was knocked out within, I think, 30 seconds of the match at WrestleMania.
Oh, it was immediately. Yeah.
It was immediate. And 2 weeks later was fired from his position for losing. How does that happen? How do you lose a job for like?
So I think he wasn't supposed to win the tournament. I'm pretty sure.
No, he wasn't either. No,
like it was supposed to be like set up for somebody else to win, and then Bart Gunn comes in and just knocks him out and kicks ass, and they're like, "Yo, Bart, you weren't supposed to win. You're against Butterbean.
So
get your ass kicked by Butterbean."
So like it was scripted, but it still was shoot, right? And yes, of course, I think like WWE officials were extremely offended that like the poster boy that they wanted didn't win. And in fact, that guy had his career ruined. He suffered a lot of injuries, I think a lot of concussions, that he just didn't surmount anything after. Like his career, I think Jim Ross was saying in the Dark Side of the Ring, right? Jim Ross was one of the people that I can't remember, I have to see it again, that were visually upset, like, dude, you just ruined this man's career, because he brought him in. He brought the guy in, and he's like, what the hell? And he was pissed. And eventually let the Bart Gunn leading up towards leading up towards Butterbean. I think Bart Gunn just wanted to kind of prove, he's like, you know what? No, I can take on all these. I need a push, and so much on himself a little bit. So the question is for you, RJ, if this is somewhat loosely related to Brawl for All, is it even worth it to bring up what was in 1999, 1998? Because it was not fun.
Yeah, so I actually didn't actually watch the Brawl for All until like much later. I was like a very young fan growing up at that time, and I remember vaguely just Butterbean like knocking out Bart Gunn. But I as like a 6-year-old kid at the time, I had no idea why Butterbean was knocking out this dude that I've never heard of. and then all of a sudden, and then later on, I'm in my 20s watching wrestling as a fan again, and I'm like, oh, Brawl for All. And like again, just like this, I think the idea of it's like all right. Like I think MMA and like and all that was starting to get, more. That was when it was starting to come out, getting a little more popular around that like late 90s, early 2000s sort of time. Yeah. So they took a shot, and I think that I don't know. I like the idea of it, but the overall execution was bad. To say the least.
Terrible.
And I don't think they should do that exact same sort of thing these days. When it was supposed to be like an actual Brawl for All happening, where it wasn't really scripted though. Like they actually were kind of going out there, and like it was scripted. Like you couldn't do specific things, but you were supposed to kind of, just whoever won back then, right? And I don't think they're going to do anything like that these days. It's going to be like completely scripted. Like I could see the Hurt Business showing up every week and just kind of like always kicking ass. Like I don't think they're going to do any like actual shoot wrestling these days. I think that they're going to be way too like hands-on scripted. Like we need to, like, I don't think they're going to go anywhere near that Brawl for All sort of thing again these days.
Yeah, because I mean, when I heard the rumor, I'm like, no. Like it was like, I mean, it was just so it was just so jarring for the company. I mean, like that. I mean, that's one of those things. I could sound extreme, but like it's one of those things that could bring the company under because of like how badly you're messed up and how bad careers are shaped. You know, you could have like had lawsuits and whatnot. And I will say I am like happy that it wasn't a fruition because of how bad Brawl for All was. Now, I mean, I get what you're saying. Like like I said, I like the approach, but I think it could work. But like if this is like their like this Brawl for All style, they gotta tread it. They gotta tread the waters very, very carefully because of the reputation that that has. I mean, again, like if you have like a production company that strictly talks about controversial wrestling moments, bring it up. It's like, and like this, like that episode came out like earlier this year, right? I mean, like this is all too soon. It's like, oh boy. So I am happy that it's not Brawl for All related because of how bad it was. But I mean, I don't know. I don't. I don't know what to. I guess, but
there needs to be a plan of some sort. Like this has to be leading to something.
like a what? Like what?
Well, what if the okay? This could be completely crazy. Don't get me.
No, I mean, what else have we
this could
talked
be
about on this
crazy,
podcast?
but Raw Underground seems like it might be crazy. So what if the Hurt Business just whoops ass? What if okay? Well, first of all, this wasn't what I was gonna say, but like Samoa Joe got into the ring, not
He did.
and he was really up in the whole like Raw Underground sort of thing. So what if somebody like him ends up going in there, and then what if somebody like Brock Lesnar ends up going into Raw Underground, and that's how we get our Lashley versus Lesnar kind of like MMA sort of fight. Where they kind of go for like 10 minutes inside the like Raw Underground style match. What if that's what they're leading up to with the Hurt Business? What if they just wipe the floor with everybody and then Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman show up in the Raw Underground? What if that's what they're leading up to?
I mean, if we need to speak about the biggest part of the summer, your countdown, ladies and gentlemen, it is on your top left after all. Brock Lesnar doesn't have a match. Brock Lesnar normally shows up for SummerSlam. We normally get him in the Big Four setting. Drew's booked with Randy, so there goes the WWE title. Braun's probably booked with Bray. There goes the Universal title, which means, I like it. I think that would really intrigue me. I think that would intrigue a lot of people.
I feel like we really should have started this a week or two ago if we were going to do that, though. Like, I feel like the build-up might be a little soon. But
not necessarily. I mean, you still have. We're at the time of this recording. We're what, 3 weeks away?
True, actually, yeah. They can do like
we're 3 weeks away. As of Sunday, it's going to be 2 weeks, 14 days from there. So I mean, it's not too out of the ordinary. I don't think, but I would like to see it. I think that would give me more reasons to tune into Underground, because I mean, I just had another friend just tell me that it was crap. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I don't know. I like your idea. I think it would work.
I think that's kind of like one of the only things they could possibly be leading towards here. I think that might be a little too far-fetched. I'm not sure if that's the way they want to use Lesnar. I'm not sure if Lesnar's coming back anytime soon at all.
He's still in Saskatchewan, isn't he?
Because he's just hiding up in there in Saskatchewan. Like, I'm not even sure if he's allowed to cross the border.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, and I doubt it.
So Raw Underground would maybe have to be going on for quite a long time. So they'd have to probably, really improve what they're doing there for it to last that long for Lesnar to come back. But I just thought it was a very interesting what if. And then maybe somebody like Samoa Joe goes in there and we see Lashley and Samoa Joe kind of go MMAing at each other. I think it's got a bit of potential. I don't think that it's there yet. I think that the potential to get viewers that maybe aren't necessarily wrestling fans is possible. I think that's what they're shooting for a little bit. And I think just being different in general is something that they're trying to go for, especially in these times where they're trying to be more cinematic and they're taping things. They're trying to make things a little different. So I applaud the attempt. I do think it needs some absolute major fine-tuning, though.
Yeah, there needs to be fine-tuning. And I think, and because we're still in the pandemic and, WWE still has to deal with these situations for probably the rest of the year, I don't see that. I mean, I know they're trying to force their way back to get fans back and the rooms of SummerSlam, location, whatnot, but with this, I think what I need to see is one, not those 1-2 minute clips throughout the show, or especially in the final hour. I can't see that because it's like you kind of leave the viewer going, what did I just see? And then sure, Shane needs to be the better hype man, whatever. But I think I just need to see a little bit more stability. I will say that, like I think as a viewer, I'm like, okay, I gotta see what happens next week on Raw, because I gotta see how if this gets worse or if this slightly gets better, which is
Is that
weird.
what WWE is going for these days? It's like, we're gonna make something kind of weird and wild that's like sort of crappy, and we're gonna see if people tune in to see if it's any good or if it's just utter shit.
Exactly, right? Exactly. That's why I'm like, okay, now I kind of want to watch to see what else happens. I mean, it did end up on a good cliffhanger, with the Hurt Business,
Yep,
but
business is booming.
business is booming.
I like
But
that. I like that. I thought
uh,
it was super cheesy, but I
uh,
really liked it.
oh God, oh Lord. So I guess it's wait and see. But I mean, I'm not. I'm more of the this is gonna fail. I don't.
Probably.
We'll see how it goes. But I mean, I think as long as it's not brawl for all, as long as if they
Yeah.
keep in terms of like the wrestling style, if they keep it as is, if they keep it as like like that random like just shoot fight, okay, next person comes in, you know what, then we're good, because this did'll work, right? Or like Fight Club, but rule number one of Fight Club: don't talk
We'll
about
talk
Fight
about
Club,
Fight Club.
don't Fight Club, and here we are. So, um, I think that's where I want to leave it at. Just like I think we're both somewhat agreeing on the same page. Like let's
We don't
see
need to
what
see Brawl for
happens.
All. We do not need
No,
to see Brawl for All.
thank God those. I hope those rumors are squashed. That it's not a brawl for all style.
Yeah.
I just have to see where they go. I don't know. I'm assuming there's some storylines going to come out of it, because I think like if you do like consistent, like just random like underground wrestling, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
we could see this. We could technically see this in the ring. The only difference is there's no ropes, right? And the referee is just dressed differently. So there's nothing right now that says like that screams to me like, oh, I can give it. I mean, I am saying give it a chance, but I'm like, nah. All right. So
before we move on though, if this does improve, what sort of wrestlers would you kind of like to see in that? Like no rope. Like, would you like to see more like big guys kind of clubbing each other, or do you think it'd be better if it was like Dolph Ziggler, like Matt, like Chad Gable, like Matt Wrestler
if I
style?
had
What do you think would work better?
just thinking here, probably Tom Phillips versus Michael Cole, Corey
Of
Graves versus
course.
Byron Saxton. Oh my God, Byron Saxton in there would be hilarious against Corey Graves. That'd be like
When was the
everybody's
last
dream
time Saxton wrestled?
NXT days, like 2015, maybe
A long
2013.
time ago, yeah.
Was it concussion issues as well, or he
I think
just
so.
gave up?
Or maybe he just sucked. I don't know.
Oh, Byron. You did bring up some good names. I mean, Brock for sure, Samoa for sure. Big E, I think would be really interesting in there.
Yeah, for sure. Especially now that he's kind of like a singles character. I think it would do a lot for him to bring out like his intensity and like not just be like a big old New Day joke all the time. I think that would actually help for him too.
Yeah, I agree. I hate to say it, and I hate saying his name because everybody knows how much I hate this guy because he has no talent and everybody praises him because he's such a good heel, but it's so stupid. Baron Corbin.
Oh. It would be a good setting for him too, for sure.
I don't like that. It would be a good setting. If I could take his bald-headed ass out of there, it'd be a dream come true. But Baron Corbin would technically be another one.
He was the boxer, right? He was like a boxing yeah, he was a Golden Glover, wasn't he? Golden Glove boxer.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. Okay, all right. I guess we put a little bit more respect on him if you know how to talk on a mic.
That might have been just like a very early gimmick for him that they just
I
gave
have
him,
no
but
idea.
I'm pretty sure it's legit. And then obviously he was in the NFL.
Another name I think that would bug me, but I feel like would make sense because this woman is just always filled with controversy in and out of the ring, storyline or non-storyline. Nia Jax.
Do you think we'll start to see women wrestling in the underground?
You
Nia,
have to put them in
Shayna.
Oh, Shane, absolutely. You
People
have to put him in there.
like that. Oh yeah, Asuka.
Yeah, I don't know about Asuka.
Well, she's a big time like striker too, though, and like submission person. So I mean, I feel like
No, I
she could
know.
go. But it's I guess that's more like the UFC MMA style, but she's not really like an underground like.
Exactly. I'm just trying to think of like I'm right now. I'm thinking of current gimmicks or current builds that would work, and I think that Shayna's jacked. Nia is just just reckless anyways to begin with, like, and that's not
I'd be
scripted.
afraid to put her there. Don't injure anybody or injure anybody. There's no rules here.
So I think that would work. If I had to bring up one more name, because I do want you to get to your list, Keith Lee.
Oh yeah.
Keith Lee, big boy. Everybody's a big boy. Keith Lee. You know, if we bask in his glory in NXT, we can bask in his glory in the Underground. So, who do you got, and why?
Well, you've named pretty much a lot of mine, but I'll say somebody from the
I think
past. Somebody from the past, actually, that would be really, really good here is Wade Barrett, I think, because of his like bare knuckle boxing, like sort of
Oh,
style.
absolutely.
If this sort of thing was around, 5-10 years back, how long has Wade Barrett been gone? It's been a lot longer than I feel like. Anyway,
2016. 2016.
so but 5 years ago, I think he would have been really, really good for something like this. The big one I was going to say was Keith Lee until you snapped it at the end there. Big boy, wrestler, athletic. I feel like he would just totally be great in that situation. But I think the Hurt Business is a good start. I think Bobby Lashley, this is a good little position for him if they really improve this Raw Underground thing. And I really think that Lashley, maybe it will lead up to some bigger opponents for him. And I feel like they could start going that way with Lashley, where they do like start teasing his MMA background again.
I hope so. I think I know a lot of people is praising Lashley more as of late, but I think I personally would be way more into Lashley if I saw him in the Underground role a bit better.
Yeah.
Just two more names for me because they just thought of two names that are, if I think of people even that have passed on, Umaga and Eddie Guerrero.
Oh yeah, Umaga. Oh yeah, he was such a great athlete for something.
He was like a beast, and like again,
I was
like
terrified of him too. Just absolutely
horrified, absolutely horrified. You're like,
what he made a thumb to the throat look so vicious, which it would be. But I mean, why is that a finisher? But he just made it so like dangerous looking.
Yeah, I mean, he's like, I mean, it's funny how he went from like the 3-minute warning character to that, and rest his soul. I think it's a talent that's just gone so soon. What was it, like car conditions or something like that? Just something internal. And so I was thinking of Eddie today because of our next segment. The next thing that we're gonna quickly talk about. I was just thinking of Eddie. I think of Eddie a lot, and I think Eddie, because like he, especially in his last year, like that big tough role, I think he'd be perfect for Underground.
And one name that we haven't mentioned yet, I think Roman would thrive here.
Yes, my big ooh-ah. Oh my god, why am I saying my big ooh-ah? The guy. He's
my big ooh-ah. Oh, you call him when you're not talking to people?
No, I don't. No, it just came out of nowhere. I'm so sorry. I do miss the guy. Like I do. For all the help that I've given him.
I'm even starting to, and I'm not a fan.
I know, and like I mean, like I'll never forget like when I was at a Raw in 2017, and I'm with my girlfriend at the time, right? And I'm recording the Roman's coming out, and I'm on Snapchat. I'm recording Roman's entrance, boo, and I flip the camera over, so I hold the phone to me and my girlfriend, boo, booing in her face. I'm like, and she's like with her camera all like innocent, like just holding the camera, recording Roman. She was a huge Roman fan, or she still is, I guess. And he looks jacked, now. He looks better than ever.
Oh, yeah.
So. Yeah. I mean, like the guy can be like a piece of drywall sometimes, but WWE could really use him in this. I feel like the ratings are being hit because
they need the star power.
They need the star power. They need the fist loading, like Superman. I weirdly miss it, and like again, seeing his entrance at WrestleMania, his first match after I think it was his first match after his cancer. It was right after his cancer. What's the name? Remission. And all that. And like, you're in the stands, you're like, good on you, buddy. I'm happy that you can continue doing this, doing what you love, knowing that you're health free, because health comes first before any criticisms of any work, of any mic or any ring work. It's him and his family. And again, I'm still happy that he's taking this route to protect himself, to protect his family, more importantly. But, when he comes back, I'm sure it'll be to a big ovation whenever that may be. But I think it would be good. Dean Ambrose.
Yeah.
Dean Ambrose. Definitely. I want to put that. Dean Ambrose, especially with this current gimmick in AEW now.
Yeah, the Moxley. Yeah.
Let's move on. My ooh.
My ooh.
So the reason why I was thinking about Eddie Guerrero because we knew today's podcast was going to be a little bit shorter than normal, just because it's just the two of us today, and it's not like a top 5 or anything like that. It's just a very casual conversation about recapping what happened on Raw. And thank God we did, because I was trying to figure out something to say. Dominik Mysterio. That's who we want to talk about. Dominik Mysterio. Who can forget 15 years ago, around this time, literally around this time, August 2005.
Oh, yeah. SummerSlam.
When he was trying to figure out who his papi is, who his daddy is, asking Ray if it's true that Eddie was his dad. And they had the hilarious, surprisingly good custody ladder match.
It's a
sounds so.
classic, man. It's such a
It's so
classic.
I'll probably pop it on in a bit because I haven't seen. I want to rewatch that match. Here we are now, and Dominik Mysterio will be officially making his WWE debut. He's gonna make his WWE debut at SummerSlam, no less. An event that he
Of
was
course.
like, he was promoted for. Um, your thoughts on the whole thing and just how much this kid has grown since that
Oh
his
yeah, I know,
blonde hair days.
I actually was like surprised when he came out, and I was like, oh man, this guy's like a normal sized human. Like Ray's so small, and like this guy is like pretty big. I'm like, okay, he could
I
maybe
have
be
to
a
say, I
wrestler.
have to say, I love the jokes that I've been seeing. Dominic has some features of his real dad. Like he has the Eddie features. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
stop it, stop it. He does look like
um,
Ray though. He looks a lot like Ray
yeah.
once his mask is off. Incredible.
I guess this is the natural conclusion to the story. Seth takes out Ray. Dominic comes back for his redemption. I actually thought Dominic was going to turn on Ray at some point in time in the story. I actually thought that was where I was heading. I thought Ray was going to be Dominic's first opponent.
I think it would have been really great if he did.
I think that might have been a little better, but I guess this is the natural conclusion to the story that I wish had ended a couple months ago.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, we're getting Dominic in a match. It's probably gonna suck. Actually, it might not suck if they
No,
incredibly overbook it.
no.
If
Overbooked,
if
yes.
they incredibly overbook this thing, it's probably not gonna really even be a match. So the actual quality of the match isn't gonna be good. Seth's gonna try his absolute best, but it's just not gonna be a good match, obviously, and it's gonna be overbooked as hell.
No,
But
go on.
it just is what it is, man. Like we're gonna see Dominic wrestle. I didn't think we were ever gonna see that anytime soon until recently. So it's gonna be. I don't know. I don't have a word for it yet, really.
You know what? I'm actually excited for his match because I think it's actually going to be. I think it's going to be somewhat solid. I say
You think
somewhat
so?
because he's. I don't know if you've seen him in the ring, but I don't know if you remember seeing him at Survivor Series with Brock. The guy can pull off an incredible frog splash. The guy
Yeah, he
can
did the
hold up his
619.
he held up his own against Brock Lesnar. He can pull off an incredible 619, and he did it again on Monday. And it's like, damn, Dominic, and the way he moves, the way he's like agile in the ring for a big guy his size, swing with the candlestick and then the splash off the top rope towards Seth and Buddy Murphy. God, I almost forgot his name.
I think it's just Murphy now.
Is it just Murphy? Oh, I'm so sorry.
If they were gonna change it, they should have just kept Buddy. They should have been like Buddy.
Buddy. So I have hope. I'm excited to see Dominic because I think it was overdue. The only thing that I just wish Dominic took, I think one thing would help is acting classes.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because
I think that's why I'm being kind of hard on him is because he's been really bad with the mic and such so far. So I think I'm just assuming the worst, but maybe he'll surprise me.
The man cannot cut a promo to save his dad's other eye.
Wow.
It's not good. It's not. I mean, like I think like at one point, like he was talking to Sarah, I have to fight for my father, and I will do this at SummerSlam. It just sounds so monotone. It sounds so like boring. I'm like, I mean, I know this. It wasn't. Do not quote me. I know it wasn't the exact promo line. Bite me, but like he just sounds so like, Dad, I have to do this for you. Like it's just overacting, over dramatic, and like, Dad, he can't do this to you. What happened was wrong. It just he's got to dip into acting class. Kind of like Natalia went through that. Horrible. Yes. And then she took acting classes and she was surprisingly better. A little better. Not like like
Well, how old is Dominic?
18, 19?
19, yeah. So he's got time still. I mean, like who debuts in WWE at 19 years old, I guess, really often,
I know, exactly. It's not, you don't hear too many names that debut that young. I mean,
actually, obviously it's because he's Ray's son, but I mean, still.
Well, sure, and the nepotism grows again in WWE, but
oh yeah,
I don't know. I'm excited. How old is Dominic? I'm gonna look that up. I am excited.
I'm doing it right now. He's 23.
He's 23.
Yeah, 23.
And look where we are, RJ. 26 or 27 now. You're at 27. 26.
Oh, I am 27, man.
Wait,
no. Hold on a second.
Oh, sorry, your birthday's
October.
in
October. Yeah.
I keep forgetting. Did you almost forget your own birthday?
Man, I tell people I'm 25 all the time, like consistently.
I keep thinking your birthday's in June and it's not. I'm sorry. That's another.
No. I'm in October, man.
I mean, I will say like in June, right? We were talking about like our buddy Austin's birthday. Hey, I was telling David, hey, do you want to celebrate RJ's birthday? do you mean Austin's? I'm like, oh,
Just think of me as Mr. October.
yeah, no. So, anyways, just to wrap it up. I mean, like, I'm excited for Dominik. I just wish he had better mic skills, but I am legitimately hyped for Dominik Mysterio to make his WWE debut. I wish I was in front of. This is one of the things where I wish I was in front of a crowd because I think the crowd would be great. And if I was going there in Boston, I think I would go nuts for Dominik Mysterio.
It's actually the fact that SummerSlam's coming out is making me really wish I went to Toronto last year. It's like making me like, oh, why did I not go? Like, this is not happening anytime soon. Yeah, I went to a music festival.
I knew it. I was reminding you, I think, like once a day last year. I'm like, RJ, come with me. No, I'm gonna go to the music festival. RJ, come with me to SummerSlam. No,
it was funny. It was funny too because on the last like concert, like I used what was left of my data to like stream the Seth match against Bray, like on my phone. It was like,
you mean Finn and Bray?
No, it wasn't SummerSlam.
SummerSlam
Bray,
was
Bray and Finn. Sorry, Seth and Brock. The Seth and Brock match.
Yeah. So I mean, like I reminded you. I was telling you, you gotta show up, and you miss. And what do you miss? You miss
Edge. Yeah.
Oh, aside from Edge, I mean, look what you miss. See that? Oh my god, wait, I could get flagged for this. Oh, I really hope I don't get copyrighted here. I'm just gonna move the mouse just to.
I wasn't expecting this.
Look what you missed. Look what you missed out of that. Pow, 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 pow.
Yeah, that's cool.
See, like you blew it.
Hey man, it was a mistake, man. It's a mistake that I'll never make again because I'll never get the opportunity to make that mistake again. Which is the sad thing. What were we talking about before I completely changed the subject?
Dominik Mysterio, like how like we wish it was a crowd for Dominik at SummerSlam this year.
Yeah, look, man. You know me. I go into every single one of these with an open mind.
You do. I respect.
I am willing to give everything that I see a chance. I was praising the Tamina versus Bayley match like 3 months ago because I thought it wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen. I go into these things with an open mind, man. I am cautiously excited because the overall match quality might stink. It might be overbooked, but it'll be exciting to see Dominik. And even though I just need this feud to end, I think that's what it is with me.
Probably. I will say, like, you do see criticism when you see it. You do, like, and I know you're open myself. For the most part, I am as of late. For the most part, but like I know with you, like like if you see something bad, you will call it. You'll call it. Very simple. Yep. Very plain. Very simple. I think we'll wrap it up on that because it's. I just think it's a good thing to end, and so we're almost at SummerSlam, and we have to keep getting more hype and hype for sure.
How many matches are we confirmed now with that?
Right now,
Drew and Randy, who Drew had a really good promo last night, by the way.
Drew and Randy, MVP Apollo is now official.
That's gonna happen again, yeah.
Dominik and Seth, Street Profits versus Angel Garza and Andrade. I am missing one.
That's pretty much all. That's a lot of Raw.
I'm missing one, and I think it's Sasha, Asuka,
Braun and Bray probably.
They're not official yet, but I know.
But it will be.
It will. I don't know. I'm just gonna take a quick look here. We're still. I mean, like the card is. It's just the 4 matches. We're slowly shaping up. I always get excited for a Big 4 pay-per-view. I think
me too.
I emphasize enough, and of course, once again, if you are not a patron, become a patron because there is a contest going on. To predict with us. Just hype, it's SummerSlam. It's the biggest party of the summer, baby.
Where's it gonna be? Who knows?
Oh my god, I think we all should throw money into a pool or a casino. I don't know. Where have COVID outbreaks happened?
I was gonna say, don't go to the casino, man. That's ruined baseball completely. Not that this is that's don't go to the casino.
This is not a baseball podcast. This is
I know I was about to say, but yeah. Don't go to the casino. I thought the boat idea was kind of cool though. If they want to shell out millions of dollars to get a yacht.
I have to say thanks to the people that have heard last week's episode and just laughed with us on the boat idea and the church. I had some people telling me that the church was a hilarious idea. Wolf came up with that. I mean, I still like the boat.
I found for the amusement park we should have gone to Legoland.
Just like step on Lego pieces, like that sounds brutal.
Use them as weapons and just like slam people on top of Lego pieces.
that sounds bloody. That sounds very, very
Yeah,
bloody.
now that we've had an extra week, I have more ideas for the podcast we did last week.
That always happens, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Always happens. Well, RJ, thank you for hopping on as always. I'm
no
gonna
problem, man.
presume we'll see you next week. And in
Sure.
saying that, let's get to the closing. And Wolf's not here to try to take that away from me. Sucker. See ya, guys. You made it to the end of the episode. And this was one that was going to be shorter, on the shorter side of podcasts today, given it just the two of us. A very casual conversation, I'd say, for the most part. And of course, we had to throw in Dominik in there because, we all love Dominik Mysterio, and we hope he gets the justice for his father after his eye incident at Extreme Rules. And yes, I will gladly be watching the custody ladder match from 2005 between Eddie and Ray right after this, because it was a good match, and amazing how far we've come 15 years later, and here we are now ready for another SummerSlam with Dominik. Next week, I was thinking about what to do for next week, and it is very busy. The tail end of August is going to be very busy with predictions, because we do have 2 pay-per-views back to back. So next week is once again Patron of the Month. That's right, for Middle Row patrons. Once again, we are calling you guys to submit your topics for us to discuss here on the podcast. We had a great time with the cinematic stuff for July, and again, I was just wildly crazy, and we can't wait to see what you guys come up with now. And of course, if you're not a patron, become a Middle Row patron if you want to submit suggestions for us to talk about on the podcast. And of course, also solidifying your entry for the SummerSlam predictions contest. The card is slowly taking shape, which is great, and we hope that you guys are continuing to tune in and eventually get ready to predict for that $30 Amazon gift card. Well, I think I'll just leave it at that, because as always, that is that. Thank you so much for watching. Become a patron, get involved in that contest, submit topics for next week. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. You all know the deal. Subscribe to us here on YouTube. I am Jose Tabuada. We will see you guys next week. Have a great one. Bye.